بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور صدق الله العظيم. Let us continue from where we left off yesterday. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا. Surah Mulk. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا. He is the one who made the earth for you subservient. فامشوا في مناكبها. So walk amongst its mountains. وَكُلُوا مِن رِزْقِهِ, and eat from its provision. وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورِ, and to him is the uprising, the resurrection. هُوَ الَّذِي, this huwa at the start, هُوَ الَّذِي, he is the one, هُوَ الَّذِي, implies that this structure, this grammatical structure, he is the one. This means there is no other. Hasr. So this is a statement of Tawheed. It's him alone. Huwa alladhi. Huwa alladhi, and Allah Azza wa Jal is attributing something to himself here. Huwa alladhi ja'ala lakum al-arda dhalulan. He is the one who ja'ala, made, lakum, for you. This is coming first. Again, it changes the emphasis. Al-arda, the earth. He made for you the earth. So he is the one, no other, who did this just for you. Did what? Made the ja'ala lakum. This is coming in between. Ja'ala al-arda lakum. No. Allah Ta'ala has put it in between. Ja'ala, I said it in this order. The words are in this order of revelation. Ja'ala lakumul arda. He made for you the earth. Dhalulan, subservient. So this is a mention of Allah's ihsan and ni'mah, his favor. Allah Ta'ala is mentioning his favor. هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا. So Allah Azza wa Jal is saying that this earth has been made subservient to you. It has been subjugated to you, so that you can benefit from it. And this includes فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا. What's mentioned here, Allah says, so walk amongst its mountains. Walk amongst its mountains. Manakib actually is the plural of mankab, and mankab in Arabic is used to refer to the shoulder. You have your left and right shoulder. What are the shoulders of the earth? The Mufassirin have explained this in various ways. Your shoulders are your peripheries, aren't they? The right one and the left one, your sides. The Mufassirin say that this is referring to the jawanib and the atraf of the earth, the peripheries of the earth. Walk here and walk there, across this part of the land and that. فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا. Fi can be used in the sense of amongst. It means in. It's used to mean amongst as well. And in Arabic, these huruf jarra, the fi, the ala, the various huruf, they're often used interchangeably. There is a breadth of meaning in these huruf. And so some of the Mufassirin have actually taken the word fi here to mean ala. And this gives us lots of variations. So some of the Mufassirin say this means to walk in the valleys and ravines, the space between the mountains. One meaning. Two, to walk upon the mountains, over the tops of the mountains. Three, to walk, as we said earlier, around the earth in its peripheries, various parts of the earth. And so this whole topic together, هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا. Allah has made the earth subservient. He's done it for you, so the earth has been created for you, for your benefit. This is mentioned in Surah Baqarah as well, in a different sense, in a broader sense. هو الذي خلق لكم ما في الأرض جميعا. He is the one who created for you. This lam is for intifa, for benefit. He created for your benefit. For you meaning for your benefit, for your advantage. ما في الأرض, all that is in the earth, جميعا, everything together. So Islam says that everything on this earth has been created for the benefit of human beings. Everything. But this doesn't mean that it should be misused or damaged or that it should be polluted or that its species, plant and animal life should be caused any harm. In fact, there's an entire chapter in Sahih Bukhari. The verses and the ahadith which encourage us to cultivate the earth so that human beings and animals can benefit. We know that people are encouraged to grow a variety of different plants in their gardens for birds and for insects to benefit from, for bees and plants which attract birds and bees and wildlife. We're encouraged to grow them. It's seen as an important and necessary part of preserving the earth and its habitats, natural habitats. Well, in the ahadith, we're told that if you plant a tree or you plant a plantation, a crop, and human beings, birds and animals, any one of them eats from this, you'll be given the reward of sadaqah. There's a virtue in this. So, the earth has been created for our benefit, but this doesn't mean that we should spoil it, or damage it. There's i'tidal and there's a balance in everything. It shouldn't be exploited to the disadvantage of other creatures that share it with us. هو الذي خلق لكم هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا. So Allah has made it subservient to us. It allows us to access it. So we mine it, we cultivate it, we live on it, we build from it, we use its raw materials, we use earth, clay, sand. It's used by human beings for all sorts of things. We make pots and all sorts of utensils from it, bricks are made from it, and glass from sand, and the minerals that we extract from the earth, the natural resources which come out of it, metals, and so all of this and more, and the plants which grow on it. So we can walk on it. By and large, Allah has placed examples for us. In some places there is land which is marshy and very wet, and it won't support weight. You can't walk over it. You would be sucked in. Quicksand, for example, or a bog, a marsh, where you would go down under. And there are other examples where the earth is very, very harsh, a very tough terrain, stony. It's difficult to travel over it or to walk over it. So these examples are there. By and large, this is not how the earth has been created. We can walk on this earth. Those samples are there for us to reflect on. But it's possible for us to walk across the earth comfortably. And that's the ni'mat which Allah has mentioned here. So we can take benefits from the earth and we can travel over it. We can traverse its surface. And we can, as I say, we can mine into it, we can cultivate it. And our ability to do this is the humbleness of the earth, that we can walk on top of mountains. So Allah Ta'ala is summing up so many ni'mats here. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا. He is the one who created for your benefit. He is the one who made the earth subservient for you, for your benefit. فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا. So walk in its paths, walk in its peripheries, walk amongst its mountains, in the valleys and ravines, walk on the mountains. All of these opinions are mentioned by the Mufassirin in this verse. فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهَا وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِ. And eat of its provision, its rizq. Subhanallah. Rizq, everything that we can, فَكُلُوا, everything that is we can eat. By definition, the Hanafi position is all is halal except the exceptions. It's not the other way around. We say innocent until proven guilty. If Allah mentions that this is haram, so an animal that has died without being made halal, without being slaughtered the proper way, that won't be permissible to eat. Specific animals which have been made prohibited, animals of hunting animals, carnivores, for example, animals of prey, predatory animals. But there's a whole range of meats that are permissible, and plants as well. The fruit, vegetables, it's the exceptions which are non-permissible, but the majority is halal. And so and even in the things we can't eat, there are other benefits which are there. So for example, the Hanafi position is that with the exception of pigskin, you can use the leather of virtually any other animal. Is permissible after it's been properly tanned and treated. That's the Hanafi position. So there are benefits. So it's not just about food. In everything that Allah Ta'ala has created, there are benefits for us, as denotes the verse of Surah Baqarah, وَالَّذِي خَلَقَ لَكُم مَا فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا. But here, Allah Ta'ala is talking about the rizq of the earth. Its greenery, its herbs, its spices, its vegetables, its fruit, and milk and honey and eggs and meat and dairy, and all of this, and all the different variety of foods which we take as human beings from the earth. These have been placed in it for our benefit. فَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورِ. So Allah Ta'ala is saying He created the earth for you, He filled it with benefits for you, He made it subservient to you, and He filled it with food for you. And if you eat ethically and share, there's plenty to go around. There's no shortage, there's a surplus. وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ, and eat from its sustenance. But remember, وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورِ, to Him is the nushur. This is the uprising. Eventually, after you die, you'll be resurrected, and you will rise before Allah, and He will question you. And you have to give hisab before Allah Azza wa Jal. On the day of Qiyamah, we will all stand before the Almighty. Allahumma hasibna hisaban yasira. May Allah make our hisab an easy one. Man nuqisha fil hisabi udhiba. It's mentioned in hadith. Whoever is scrutinized in hisab will be punished. If Allah Ta'ala starts looking at the detail of our lives, then there's plenty that we have to answer for. And if Allah Azza wa Jal chooses to give us a hisab yasir, an easy reckoning, it's like being waved through at the customs. On you go, no checking. On the other hand, you've got a couple of kg over, and you're not allowed to bring this in because of customs and blah 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 and so forth, or your documents aren't right, so you're prevented from walking through, and then you can't board the plane. So here it's a question of going into Jannah or otherwise. So Allah Ta'ala says, benefit from the ni'mats of the earth, but remember, وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورِ, you're going to return to Allah. And then Allah mentions more of His ni'mats. Allah Ta'ala gives us some warnings now. After mentioning these ni'mats, we're reminded that don't become complacent because Allah has filled the earth with these comforts. Don't become complacent and consider yourself completely free to do as you wish. هُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَ لَكُمُ الْأَرْضَ ذَلُولًا فَامْشُوا فِي مَنَاكِبِهِ وَكُلُوا مِنْ رِزْقِهِ وَإِلَيْهِ النُّشُورِ أَأَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ أَنْ يَخْسِفَ بِكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فَإِذَا هِيَ تَمُورُ. Are you secure from the one in the heavens that He may sink you into the earth? أَنْ يَخْسِفَ بِكُمُ الْأَرْضَ فَإِذَا هِيَ تَمُورُ. Then it will be quaking with you, moving, wavering. Are you secure in the knowledge that the one, now this question, the one in the heavens, the ulama and the mufassirin say that, because the governance of the heavens and the earth is run by the Master, by the Almighty, by Allah Azza wa Jal, and because rules come down from the heavens, this attribution is a sense, it's relative, it's not because Allah Azza wa Jal can be associated with a specific physical space, because Allah is munazzah and mubarra from every makan and zaman. Time and place are subject to Allah. Allah is not subject to time and space. So there are various verses in the Qur'an. There are the ones which talk about verses like this, the heavens. There are ones which talk about the arsh, ثُمَّ اسْتَوَى عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. There are the ones that talk about فَإِنَّمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Wherever you turn, there is Allah facing you. And there are the ones who are ma'akum aynama kuntum, He is with you wherever you are. And وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ, we are closer to the human being than the carotid artery. And so there are all of these verses. And so Allah's ilm and qudra is, nothing is out of the grasp of Allah's ilm and qudra, His knowledge and ability. Everything is before Allah Azza wa Jal. But we do not apply the laws of physics to the one who created them. So Allah is munazzah and mubarra. Allah is pure from time and space. He's not subject to time and space. The penny has to drop. Tawheed means that you don't try to do qiyas and understand Allah through the lens of this material and physical creation, and through the existence that Allah has given us through our own mortal nature. We are creation and He is Khaliq. So He's not subject to time and space. So man fis sama, His grasp on the rulings of the heavens and the earth is what is implied here according to the Mufassirin. It's not that you can say that Allah is وَالْعِيَاذُ مِنْ ذَلِكَ contained within a certain space. That's what we don't say. Because Allah is Allah, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There's nothing like unto Him, so you can't compare Him to anything. And so, أَمِنْتُم مَّن فِي السَّمَاءِ, are you safe from the one in the heavens that He may sink you into the earth? Yes, He's made it dhalul for you and filled it with rizq, and you can walk in its paths. But do you think that you can do as you wish and disobey Him, and He might not seize you and make the earth open up? A sinkhole is something we hear about frequently these days, but khasf is when the earth sucks you in. Allah protect. This can happen any minute, any time. It's only Allah's fadl that it doesn't happen. I think this is a Sufi Iqbal from Medina Munawwara Nawwarallahu Marqadu. I think it's his story. It could be from someone else from our shuyukh. And someone said to him, one of his murids, show us a karama. And he got up and walked. And he says, this is my karama, that I can walk on the earth and I'm not sucked in because of my sins. This is the sort of sense of awareness that these people had of the Almighty, their taqwa, their constant fear. So Allah Ta'ala is reminding us of this. Don't be complacent and secure in the knowledge that the earth, because it's still at the moment, it will always be still, or because it's firm at the moment that it can't crack open and suck you in, like Qarun was sucked in. So, أَأَمِنْتُم مَّن فِي السَّمَاءِ أَن يَخْسِفَ بِكُمُ الْأَرْضِ فَإِذَا هِيَ تَمُورُ, and then it will begin to quake. Move, shake. If the earth begins to move and shake, what can you do about it? أَمْ أَمِنْتُم مَّن فِي السَّمَاءِ أَن يُرْسِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ حَاصِبًا, or are you secure from the one in the heavens that He can rain stones on you? The word hasiba, some have translated this as rain, and the tafsir of this, according to some, is a rain of stones. Others say it's wind with stones. So hasiba, like a hurricane. أَمِنْتُم مَّن فِي السَّمَاءِ أَن يُرْسِلَ عَلَيْكُمْ حَاصِبًا, or are you secure from the one in the heavens that He may send a hurricane upon you, a wind containing stones. فَسَتَعْلَمُونَ كَيْفَ نَذِيرٌ, then you will know how my warning is. You will know how my warning is. Its reality will open up before you. And then Allah Ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ كَذَّبَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, and belied those that were before them, the mushrikeen of Makkah. فَكَيْفَ كَانَ نَكِيرٌ, how was my punishment for them? How was my punishment? So, in other words, you people, and this is addressing the mushrikeen of Makkah, and it's addressing humanity generally. Are you secure that nothing can happen? That no punishment can come from the heavens? Or that you can't be sunk into the earth? Are you secure that the earth is safe for you and you can't be sunk into the earth because of your actions? You can commit any injustice that you wish, any sin that you want. Are you secure that there's no punishment that can come from the heavens to you? There were those that came before you, they were complacent. They thought nothing would happen. Aad and Thamud and others. And the punishment came to them. Can it not come to you? And if you can learn from their lessons and from history, and the punishment can come to you as it came to them, then you will not be reckless in the way you walk and talk, and the way you act and behave, and in the discretions and which you enact out, and the actions that you take on this earth, the way you behave in all your affairs on this earth. And so, looking at these verses together, Allah Azza wa Jal mentions His favors upon us, His ni'mas upon us, that we're allowed to walk on this earth and eat from its provision. But we're reminded of the hashr, wa ilayhi nushur, that we will rise up and we will have to stand before Him and give hisab. And then we're also told about the fact that we should remember that Allah can, if He wills, cause the earth to suck us in and make it quake and move and shake. And if He wills, He can cause the skies to rain with stones and pelt us. And so we should never be complacent from this. We should not be like those who came before past nations, who refused to accept the warnings of the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, and as a consequence, they were punished. We mustn't be like them. So may Allah Azza wa Jal grant us tawfiq to benefit from what we've learned. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على النبي الكريم سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.